The next thing we need to decide on is our CD cover art and who we are going to hire. It's kind of a big decision, and I don't know if you've ever done this before, but it kind of feels like there's a little bit of pressure there to like choose the right person, because this is a visual image that's supposed to kind of summarize your music in a picture. And I mentioned before that, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and so we kind of want to get it right, and it's like, who do I choose? And there's a few options. So first, you could go with people you know. Do you know a graphic artist? Very likely. Most of us know a graphic artist, and you can browse their work and ask them about it, how comfortable they would feel. If you don't have a connection with them, if they're like very corporate or something and they're not used to doing artsy-fartsy stuff, you could ask them about it. But oftentimes, it's a good idea to go with a graphic artist who does a lot of CD art, and even better is if they do a lot of CD art in your genre. Again, yes, this is possible. I've hired a graphic artist who he pretty much only deals with metal cover art, and there's lots of artists who specifically design CD art in a particular genre, and it's so great to have because they already know certain things. They understand the mood that it should reflect, and make sure they listen to your CD. Even if you don't have your masters back, let them hear maybe your single or a few tracks or even a few demos, because they need to make that connection between the image and your music. Make sure it makes sense too. It drives me crazy when I see cover art and then I listen to the music and it makes no sense at all between the two. I mean, on one hand, do whatever you want, but on the other hand, it's nice if there's a connection between those two things, if it doesn't feel disjointed. So, it doesn't have to be necessarily a picture of you. It could be an illustration. It could be clip art, and, there's ways that artists have of putting these things together where it's not necessarily a photograph, but by all means use a photograph. The point is that we want it to make sense. The album art should reflect your recordings as a whole. If you had to summarize it together, if you had to mush them all into one ball, what would that picture be? Like if you had to summarize all your songs into one word, what would it be? And so you're going to have to brainstorm some ideas to send to your graphic artist too. Don't just hand it to them and say, okay, have fun, and expect them to come up with your dream art. That's not a good idea. What you should do is, and a good graphic artist will ask you to do this, but just in case, I'm just going to tell you, you should give them a list of a whole bunch of ideas you have, and just put them in point form. Don't make an elaborate story or a huge paragraph. Just put point form, things that you envision. Is it like a dove? Do you envision a dove being on the cover, or a bird of some kind, and maybe like a path, and maybe that path is made of dirt or stone or something. Just and the mood. So include things you want to see, like visual items. And then include the mood. Is it a happy mood? Is it dark? Is it mysterious? Is it horrifying? What is the mood that you want to convey through that image? And then make sure that mood coincides with your music and your project as a whole. So give him the items, give him the mood, give him any color themes that you have in mind, give him or her, I should say, any font ideas and any logos. If you don't have a logo, have them just make you one while they're doing this. So have them include it. And just give them as much detail as possible. And now if you have more than one idea, that's cool. Just make another list with all your ideas on that list and give it to them and say, I'm not sure which one to go with, but I like these two things. Maybe you could even incorporate both of those ideas in one and see how they do. Now, if you've hired a very talented graphic artist, they should be able to pull something like this off. But, have them choose one or the other, or see if they can do an amalgamation. And as far as choosing who to hire, again, look at your social circles, talk to who you know, but then also go and browse Elance or Upwork or Fiverr or one of those freelancing type sites. You can also do a Google search for CD cover art in your genre and type in the actual genre that you do, and you could come up, I'm sure you could find some really good graphic artists that specialize, and obviously the more specialized, the better it is, the more accurate it will be, and the happier your fans are going to be. So I know you'll find somebody great, and it's a really fun process coming up with this brainstorming list and then giving it and handing it over. It's kind of scary because it's like, oh, I hope it's going to be good. I hope it's going to turn out. It will. It'll turn out good. You'll be happy. And if you're not, usually the graphic artist will allow a few revisions before they're done. So use them. You know, if you're not happy, use them up. And usually they are wanting to please their clients, so they walk away with a testimonial as well. So it's a win-win for everybody. While you have your graphic artist, you might as well get them to do a few little extra things for you. They already are coming up with the art and the graphics and your themes and your colors and fonts, perhaps even logos. So you also should have them do up a few social media backgrounds and banners for you in the custom sizes that you need for YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and all the different platforms that you plan on being on. Make sure that they make some graphics for you, and maybe they feature your current cover art, which is a great way to promote. You know, every time someone goes to click on one of those social media sites, they're going to see your cover art, and it's like perfectly sized, and there might even be a link written on it to where they can go and buy it. So keep those things in mind. We are always cross-referencing, cross-promoting our albums on all the different platforms we plan on being on, and it's great if we can tie in the themes to everything, so everything looks so clean and professional, and it's connected, and they always know from one platform to another that they're looking at the same artist, and so they know what to expect. And just those little things build trust, and that trust helps your relationship and ultimately helps your sales. So good thing to keep in mind, get those extra graphics and banners, write down all the platforms you plan on being on, and send your graphic designer a list and make sure they know all the proper dimensions. If you don't have this already, you're going to need a cloud-based file hosting website or program of some kind. So I like to use Dropbox, and there's lots of other cloud-based hosting. You can even use Google Drive if you have a Gmail account. And I like to keep all my master files on a cloud-based server of some kind for the purpose of uploading them to a bunch of different websites that I need to. If I need to re-upload it to Bandcamp, or I need to re-upload my songs to iTunes or a different platform, it's nice to have them online somewhere where I can reach them and I don't have to, oh, I'm not at home right now, or oh, I have to go open up that laptop, or, you know, it can be annoying. Plus, files can get accidentally deleted, and that's really scary. So I recommend having your masters and any important files on like an external hard drive, but then also have it on some kind of cloud-based account where you can access them from anywhere, and then anytime you want to upload them to a different platform, it's really easy to do that and locate them right away. Another benefit to doing that is if you need to send somebody your files for some reason, say you have your masters and then you have a folder of just your MP3 files, and someone wants to review your music, you can create on Dropbox a password protected folder that also has an expiry date on it. So it'll expire after however many days you say. You could put 30 days or 60 days, and then it's gone and they can't get access to it anymore. So that's kind of a nice handy little feature, and I think that is the upgraded account. So keep those kinds of things in mind, and make sure you keep things organized. Don't just throw all your files onto Dropbox and have it a big giant mess. Now that will not save you time. You should keep things really neat and tidy and organized. So the way I organize my Dropbox is I first of all make a master folder for my music related stuff. So I have a master folder that says Ex Cathedra Records, which is my personal record company that I release. And I also number it because Dropbox organizes folders and files by numbers. So I would type in 1 space Ex Cathedra Records, and then if I had something unrelated to that, I would number the folders 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it will all be nice and clean and in order. And yes, I am a neat freak, and I just think that it will save you a lot of time if you try to be a neat freak with your files, because I have not always done things this way. I am a neat freak in my heart, but I am often in a rush, and I have thrown all my files around in Dropbox and on different storage sites, and some of it's on my desktop, and some of it's on my external, and some of it's online, and some of it's in my email, and it ends up being a huge mess, and I spend hours looking for stuff, and I'm like, I thought I put it here. Now it's gone. What happened to it? And sometimes you need really important files really fast, and you can't find them. So I have learned the hard way to be a neat freak and organize your files on these cloud-based storage accounts, and it will really help you. So make your master folder, whatever you're going to call it. Then within that folder, I like to separate things by, music, like official music. So I'll have one folder, official music, and within that folder, then I have my actual albums. I'll have my albums, so I have my WAV files, and I might have within that folder my MP3 files as well. And I'll have other folders with my singles and maybe my cover songs that I've done, but all my official music is in one folder, and it's organized by albums. And then within my Ex Cathedra, my master folder, so I have official music, and then I might have videos. And so if I click on my video folder, it will have some different folders in there separated by maybe what kind of videos. Are they promo videos? Are they music videos, lyric videos, these kind of videos I'm doing? And so to organize by that, so when you're searching for it later, it's not a huge list of videos, and you're trying to figure out, and you didn't title them properly, and they're just a whole bunch of numbers and letters and stuff, and you don't know what it is. You will waste hours of your life trying to find what you need by doing that. So just take the time when you put it in there to just title it, put it in the right folder. It really only takes a minute to do it, and it will save you a lot of time later on. So back to the master folder, you have official music, you have videos, and you're going to need a folder file. Now for photos, this can be a little daunting because sometimes they really add up, or you have a huge amount of photos that were taken in a particular thing. So first of all, I separate my photos into years. So in my folders file, I have more folders that are separated by years. So 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015. And that way I can think back, what year did I even take that picture? That's a lot easier than thinking, what month did I take that picture? That's hard. I don't know. It all becomes a blur after a while, So then within the year, I might have the event, or say it was this photo shoot, and then I can already visualize what it is. So just breaking it down like that is going to make your life a lot easier. And so you have, you have your official folder, you have your official music folder, you have your videos folder, you have your photos folder, and then I also recommend having another folder for any official documents or receipts you need to keep, because don't forget, this music business that you are doing, you need to be saving receipts, because this is also going to be a write-off when you go to register this as a music business down the road. Now, you might not be there this year, but eventually you might be there. So I recommend keeping any important documents and stuff in its own folder. Don't just save them all in your email, because who knows, you could get hacked, or they might go missing or deleted, or anything could happen. So just a few tips from me on how to organize your files so that for quick access when you need them, and when someone emails you one day and they're like, I need this, can you send me this song? So here's something you might have not thought about or might have overlooked. It's a small detail, but it's an important one. And that is, where are you going to host your music for sale besides your digital distribution platform? So we already know we're going to sell our music on iTunes and Amazon and Spotify and TuneCore or CD Baby. They're taking care of all that for us. But besides that, a lot of fans want to buy music from us directly as a way to support us, and we need a platform to be able to just sell our music on. So you have a few options here, and I can tell you what I'm doing, but feel free to do what makes sense for you. So right now, I sell my music on a platform called Bandcamp.com. That's bandcamp.com. And, it's one of those websites where there's a lot of artists and they have all kinds of music on there and you get your own page. And so I can sell my digital music and I can sell my physical merchandise. They can buy CDs, t-shirts, and they can even buy a VIP backstage pass from me as an exclusive member. So they've got a number of very cool features, and it's your own page, but it is on Bandcamp. And one good thing about that is that you can end up getting traffic that has just stumbled on your page, and so they discover you that way because they're there for other music, which is nice to have. But we don't rely on that traffic, but it's a bonus. So another thing you can do is to pick a platform like Blogger or WordPress and use a blog as almost like a website. So if you are looking for like free options, I would recommend that you pick, a website or a blog like Blogger or, Tumblr or one of these sites where you can embed your music into the platform. So Bandcamp's great because they give you a little code that you can copy and paste and just put it in a widget on your blog. So that's a cool thing to do. If you can, definitely have your own website. Hire a web designer and get a website and sell your stuff from that platform. That works too. It's a little more work, and I think there are more things that can go wrong, and then it'll be hard to get help and administrative help. But if you're a techie person, great, go for it. I just do what's easy and what works and what I know I don't have to stress out about. For me, I use Bandcamp, and I have a website, and I embed Bandcamp stuff on my website. Now, the other thing you can do, which I do recommend, is that you purchase your own domain name that you can point to these sites. So Blogger and Bandcamp and a lot of these hosted sites, they allow you to point your own domain name to these sites. So if you were to type in, say, your band name, it goes to your Bandcamp site. So that's kind of nice, and it looks professional, and you can put your custom URL on, say, your YouTube channel instead of something.bandcamp.com. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's hard to remember, and it's annoying to type maybe. So it's nicer if they can just type yourband.com, and it goes to your Bandcamp site. So it makes it easier for everybody. It's easier to remember. It's a better user experience, and we want to always be thinking about what is it like for my fan on their end to try and find me. What's going to help them find me easier and faster? What's the least annoying thing that I could help provide for them to make it easier for them to hear my music and buy my music? And I think having a custom domain is just one of those little details that's so easy to do and easy to overlook, but it makes a big difference in the end. So brainstorm, say, 3 or 4 different domain names and research them. Just look them up on GoDaddy or whatever website you can think of and see what's available. And a lot of times our favorite one is not available, so that's why you need to have a few different options and then try a few different endings and see what you can come up with. Pick the best one and then customize where you're going to point that. And there's lots of techie information that you can get and help on wherever you bought your domain. They will usually have tutorials for you on how to point it, or they'll offer you the service if you call them. So definitely take advantage of that, and I know it will make a difference in making you look really professional. Well, I just want to say congratulations if you've already recorded your music, because I want you to know that's a huge accomplishment. I mean, you should feel really great, really good about what you've done, how far you've come, And I just want to say, like, I'm giving you a big cheers on my end, and that you've gotten to this point where you are now in this planning process and you're looking at all the next steps you need to be doing. So thanks for hanging in there, and keep going, keep persevering. It's a lot of work, I know. There's so many steps and so much to consider, but all of this is going to add up to living our dream. And you're also going to find so much empowerment and freedom, and to say, I did this. Like, I totally did this myself. And it was a lot of work, and it was hard and confusing sometimes, but it's just an amazing feeling to be able to say, I made it happen. You are one step closer to accomplishing your hugest, biggest goal. I know there's a lot to think about when it comes to the recording process just all on its own, and then there's all these other details in between and connecting the dots and making everything work. Some of it's technical, there's a lot of just details, and I know it can get overwhelming, and so that's why I wanted to break this down for you, so that A, you didn't forget anything and miss any details, and B, so that it would be less frustrating and you just have like a map. So you have just a nice blueprint of these are the things I need to do, and there might be more things that you can think of that you're going to add to this list that I provided, but I hope that this helps you, because I know if I had this list, I know it would have helped me, and it would have saved me so much stress, because it can get stressful when you're trying to think of all these things at the last minute and you realize, oh crap, I have to do this. Oh, now I have to do that. And you feel like you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. So hopefully you don't feel like that. And I hope this is feeling very doable for you. Now, the next section, we are going to be really diving into launching our music and what's all involved with that and all the different tools we can use. And it's very exciting. So we will see you in the next lesson.